This Ioanna Gika album is a Sargent House release. If you don't know anything about Sargent House, this is the same record label that has brought us Chelsea Wolf. And similarly to Chelsea Wolf, this album has this very ethereal Darkwave undertone to it that is can be very appealing to the fans of people like Chelsea Wolf and also Ioanna Housewolf. Both very good artists who I would highly recommend if you've never checked them out. But at the same time, they are artists that I kind of struggle with in some ways because they do put out really good music, but at times I feel like they're contrived with their sound because it doesn't really go in places that interests me for an entire length of an album. And I would say this album Thalassa here is very similar to my experiences with those albums, but honestly it's a little bit worse. So yeah, this album is very dreamy at times. The vocals are to die for throughout, but there's just this emptiness that completely clouds the album. Like there's just nothing really that's grabbing me in with the instrumentals, even though the instrumentals at times are really gorgeous. At times it feels like a bit of a gloopy schlock, like everything's just kind of mashed together, and the instrumentals don't really breathe or anything. There's nothing speaking for itself. In a Julia Holter type way where the instrumentals really suck you in and you're just immersed with the experience, the instrumentals here just kind of take you out of it. And when you read into the lyrics here, it's kind of a bit banal at times. There's nothing really exciting going on in that department, but really the one thing that's carrying this album throughout is mostly just the vocals. Reading into the lyrics of Drifting, it's just really boring to read into. Like there's nothing potent about what's being written here, like, oh, I see you in the garden, and oh, don't go drifting away. Oh. It's just an album I feel like could go both ways. Like you could absolutely adore this and feel like everything about it is beautiful and gorgeous, but if you're just not really getting anything out of the instrumentals, which I'm kind of not for the most part, then it's really just going over your head. The opening track is a very powerful opener though. Like I love that track. I really feel like there's so much going on with the instrumental here that it really does get me excited to see what's coming, but everything else that comes along with it just is kind of so-so. Also really don't understand why the penultimate track just cuts off, like dead stop. Like it just literally stops. I don't know if that was like an accident or it's probably artistic intent, but I don't really understand why it does what it does, and then it goes into Drifting, which is a real letdown of a closer, and I'm just kind of at that point just ready to switch this off. I suppose she does end off that track by saying downward spiral, and you know, obviously everything just stops there, and you know, I suppose it's sort of like her saying that, you know, there's no more hope now. But everything's just a little bit on the nose with the lyrics, so I'm just not really feeling it all that much. So yeah, I feel like I should leave it there. I don't really want to be punching down on an artist that isn't particularly very well known and giving her a bad name just from the get-go here, because that's not really fair to do on indie artists. But I've just got to be honest here and say that I just wasn't really feeling this, even though there are some great moments on the album that I think do shine through, but everything kind of feels empty. Definitely check this out though if you like the artists that I have mentioned throughout this video, like especially on the Sargent House label, because it is a good label doing some really cool things right now, and I think Ioanna Gika could be another addition to people's loved lists for this record label and for this Darkwave, ethereal dream pop sound. For me, I'm going 5.5 out of 10 though. Didn't really get much out of this on repeated listens, unfortunately. But let me know your thoughts if you have checked this out, and if you do have any interest in it, then please give it a listen. I would recommend this either way. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Have a good day. Goodbye.